Welcome to this video. This is going to show you a couple of techniques that allow you to get more information from a stereo mix that you've got. So often we will be presented with just stereo mix. So sometimes you can get stems of tracks which have got subgroups or even individual instruments in, which make it much easier. But often you'll just get a stereo mix and you've got a great deal of information in there. Obviously with practice you can improve your ability to analyze what's in there, but I'm going to show you a technique which allows you to get more out of a mix and hear what's going on a bit more clearly. This will work on any stereo mix and anything where you've got something panned from one side to the other and other instruments which are in the middle. They will cancel out the things which are in the middle, so all of those tracks which are in the middle will disappear effectively, and you'll just be left with the things which are panned to the left or the right. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. The first way that you can do it is using standard DAW editing techniques. Here's our original track. So this is I'm the One by Van Halen, and it's got some fairly extreme panning, so you can see as well as hear that the guitar is panned over to the left. And if we listen in the verse section, we can hear we've got drums, bass, vocals and guitar. And it's a little difficult to hear what's going on with a real detail, particularly on the guitar, because there's lots of stuff happening in the guitar. So listening once again to that, you can hear what's going on. So what we're going to do is we are going to take this track, and then we are going to, in the first technique, we are going to duplicate it. So we're going to duplicate that track, and here on the second track what we're going to do is take that and then phase reverse it. So that turns the audio effectively upside down, so positives become negatives and vice versa. There's two ways you can do it. You can either shift and right click and then go to process and then phase reverse, or you can go up to audio, process, phase reverse. They both do the same thing. So once you do that, it will come up, say all channels, and we're going to click process. It will ask us if we want to do a new version. We want to do that because we don't want to alter the original. There we have our phase reverse version. So if we listen to that on its own, we can hear it's exactly as far as when we flip to the other one, they don't sound any different. But when you play them together, we can see both tracks are still playing, but they cancel out completely. So that's happening because if we take a bit of a look closer in, so if we just zoom in here, we can see that if you look in the top, we've got a positive waveform there, and in the same channel on the other one, we've got a negative one, and it's equal and opposite. It cancels out completely. So the two will cancel out totally, and that's why we're hearing silence. So although both channels, you can see the meters are clearly displaying audio, we're not hearing anything because they're cancelling out completely. So that's what we want, and now we're going to do what we need to do, which is stereo flip. So again, shift right click, process, stereo flip. I'm going to click process, and now that's what's left and right. So you can see the guitar that was on the left is now on the right, and then when we play it, what we can hear is just the things which are panned to one side or the other, which here is mostly the guitar. So we can hear the guitar really well. The drums, the bass and the vocals, all we're really hearing is the reverb. Listen again without. So we can hear vocals really clearly there. And then when we hear both together, we can hear the vocals have disappeared apart from the reverb. Okay, the reason for that is that the reverb is generating new stereo information, so that makes it sound more involving, and that's why we're hearing that, because it's slightly different on each side. So that's how you can do that with just standard editing techniques in DAW. It's the way I first worked out how to do this, was by doing that. But there is another way we can do. So we're just going to make this a little clearer. We're going to remove that track, and then we're just going to concentrate on the original. So here, as an insert, I'm going to place Voxengo's MSED, which is a middle-sides encoder and decoder plugin. It's free. So you can see there's the first one, and I'm going to put two in. Okay, so two of the same plugin, and importantly, this top one here, so that's an input slot number 1 as an insert. We're going to encode with that, and then with the second one, with the second one there, I'm going to decode with that. So it's going to be encoded in the first one and then decoded in the second one. So we won't hear any difference with them like that. It sounds exactly like it would have done originally. So if we skip on to the verse, yeah, that sounds fine. But if we click these buttons here, if we just to mute the mid, we're back to where we were before. So the mids have all been cancelled out. We're just hearing what's panned. But we have a bonus here because we can also use the side mute button, and we can get rid of anything that was panned and just hear what's in the middle. And if you listen to that, you may be able to hear there that the reverb is getting cancelled out, so we're hearing the original vocal much clearer. Let's do that again. So hopefully you can hear there that the reverb is getting largely removed from it. So by doing that with the mix, we can do that really quickly. The great advantage of using these plugins is that you can visit it anytime you want. You don't have to have multiple versions of the track in there. With it in the default settings like that, you will hear what you wanted to, but you can quickly flip between hearing everything, hearing the middle, and hearing just the sides in any combination you want. So by using these, making use of these buttons on the plugin, you can flip between those, and it really helps you sort of inform you what you're listening to and work out what's going on, which can take quite a long time depending on the track. Okay, so hopefully that's giving you an insight into those two ways of doing it. I'd encourage you to download MSED from Voxengo.com. It's free, it's cross-platform, so it'll work on all DAWs. And then you should be able to hear a lot more of what's going on in the track. This is really useful for A-level task 1A and task 3A, because often there'll be things which are panned, which are a little more difficult to hear, and particularly with students who just started doing this kind of thing, it can really help them pick out what's going on. If you've enjoyed these videos and found the tips in them useful, then subscribe by clicking on the MTT logo in the corner now. In addition, visit musictechtuition.com, where you'll find tips, tricks and advice, as well as information about the books that I've written, Music Tech A-Level using Cubase 8 and the Complete Guide to Music Technology using Cubase 8, which have got a wealth of information, stuff that would take years and years of YouTube videos to cover. These are a great resource whether you're just getting started or you've been sequencing for a few years. They will allow you to take your sequencing, recording and production to the next level and give you a really well-rounded education in all aspects of music technology.